we have a raging debate about picking and choosing winners. You know, we've been picking and choosing winners for 100 years. I support oil and gas development, but in 1916, we decided to pick and choose oil and gas. We said to people in America, if you go out and look for oil and gas, we'll give you very substantial tax benefits. And we said, we'll do that for 100 years. So that's picking, isn't it? We've been picking winners and losers. It seems to me that when I say we should do everything and do it well, we ought to have federal policies that provide some certainty, predictability, and direction so that in the private sector they know what the rules are. The absence of having consistent and predictable rules really retards our ability. I'll give you one example. We put in place, I mentioned to you, oil and gas incentives in 1916. They still exist. We put in place in 1992 incentives for people to produce energy from the wind and the sun. And we've extended them 7 times short term. We've let them expire 3 times. It's stutter, stop, start, off, on. That's not a policy. And the private sector can't rely on that, can't invest in it, it can't believe in it. Now, there's a lot to talk about here, but I want to just mention 2 things before I turn to others in the panel. I would say the 2 big issues that are important and that I worked on very hard in the Congress before I retired in January of this year. One is the electrification of the automobile fleet. 70% of the oil we use in this country is used in transportation. I believe that we are inevitably headed towards the electrification of the fleet, perhaps using compressed natural gas in some part of it, but by and large the electrification of the fleet. The quicker we move in that direction, the better, and that means engaging cities with respect to deployment areas and so on, and the infrastructure necessary. The second area, in addition to electrifying the vehicle fleet, the second area is in the area of efficiency. The McKinsey studies show that with respect to the production and conservation of energy, the lowest hanging fruit by far of all of the choices we could make is the issue of building efficiency. Retrofitting buildings is the lowest hanging fruit by far. So that will have a lot to do with whether public policy chooses, the government chooses in its public policy, the substantial movement towards greater building efficiency, because that's the greatest savings.